Ahead of elections, Yael Lapid, Prime Minister of Israel, tells Arabic language news channels that Jews won't have freedom to worship on the Temple Mount. In a last-minute push to appeal to Arab voters ahead of Israel's national election, Prime Minister Yair Lapid pledged that he would not permit Jewish freedom of worship on the Temple Mount. He also said he would push to amend the nation-state law. The caretaker prime minister, whose center-left Yesh Atid party will likely be the second largest political movement in the next Knesset, granted 2 interviews with Arabic language outlets and made a number of promises to the community. Regarding Al-Aqsa Mosque, I have made it clear in every possible way. We are not changing the status quo at Al-Aqsa, and we will ensure the freedom of worship of Muslims at Al-Aqsa, Lapid told the 2 Arabic language news channels. During Ramadan, I don't know, 1 million people came to pray at Al-Aqsa, and we made sure that they were able to go up and pray because it is our duty as a government to allow freedom of worship for any Muslim who wants to come and pray at Al-Aqsa, and we will protect it. But Lapid made it clear that despite the Temple Mount being the holiest site in Judaism, Jews do not have the same rights that Muslims do to pray at the compound.
באל-אקצא, אני הגדרתי בכל במה אפשרית. אנחנו לא משנים את הסטטוס קוו באל-אקצא. ואנחנו נדאג לחופש הפולחן של מוסלמים באל-אקצא. ברמדאן עלו, אני לא יודע, 1,000,000 איש להתפלל באל-אקצא, ואנחנו דאגנו לזה שהם יוכלו לעלות ולהתפלל, כי זו חובתנו כממשלה, לאפשר חופש פולחן לכל מוסלמי שרוצה לבוא להתפלל באל-אקצא, ואנחנו נשמור על זה. אנחנו בקשר מתמיד עם הוואקף, עם הירדנים, עם כל מי שנוגע לנושא, כדי לוודא שחופש הפולחן המוסלמי באל-אקצא יישמר. זה שיש יותר עליות יהודים, אנחנו מאפשרים עליית יהודים, אנחנו לא מאפשרים תפילות יהודים על הר הבית, אנחנו מאפשרים עליית יהודים, הם עולים, זה נמצא תחת השגחה כדי לוודא שלא מופר הסטטוס קוו, לא יופר הסטטוס קוו.
We allow Jewish visits, but we do not allow Jewish prayers on the Temple Mount, he said. It is under supervision so that the status quo is not violated. The status quo is not violated, he stressed. The Temple Mount, where the first and second temples were built, is the holiest site in Judaism. The delicate status quo governing the Temple Mount goes back to 1967 when Israel liberated the old city of Jerusalem from Jordan during the Six-Day War. Under the terms of a status quo reached between Israel and the Islamic Waqf, while Jews and Christians are allowed to visit the Temple Mount, only Muslims are allowed to pray there. The status quo also allows the Waqf to administer the Temple Mount while Israel is responsible for security. Prime Minister of Israel Yair Lapid addresses the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly at UN headquarters in New York City, U.S., September 22, 2022. Lapid, to make history, announced Israeli support for Palestinian state at United Nations. Israeli PM Lapid backs 2-state solution with Palestinians. United Nations, Sep 22, Reuters. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid called on Thursday for a 2-state solution to decades of Israeli-Palestinian conflict and reasserted that Israel would do whatever it takes to stop Iran from developing a nuclear bomb. His mention of a 2-state solution, the first by an Israeli leader in years at the United Nations General Assembly, echoed U.S. President Joe Biden's support in Israel in August for the long-dormant proposal. An agreement with the Palestinians based on 2 states for 2 peoples is the right thing for Israel's security, for Israel's economy, and for the future of our children, Lapid said. Lapid spoke less than 6 weeks before a November 1st election that could return to power the right-wing former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a long-standing opponent of the 2-state solution. Israel captured East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza areas that Palestinians seek for an independent state in a 1967 Middle East war. U.S.-sponsored Israeli-Palestinian peace talks collapsed in 2014. There have been multiple interpretations to that call of prayer. Pray that Christ's messianic rule would be established. Pray that God's people would live in security. Pray that Israel would be allowed to live in security. Pray for justice for Palestinians. And pray for reconciliation between Jews and Palestinians.